Hello, this is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, a part of Redbud Realty and Associates, and I want to give you a market update. This is July 31st, 2011. Now, one thing I can tell you about the market, it's extremely hot. I'm not talking about real estate. I'm talking about the weather. It's 102 today. It's been 100 degrees every day for over 30 days with no end in sight. It's going to get to 107 or 108 degrees this week, so believe me, if you're out there looking at real estate, drink a lot of water, and I have a lot of respect for your stamina. But what I really want to address is what goes on at the end of the summer months in the local market here. Now, I look at expired listings every day, and I look at them to do market analysis. I look at them to see if possibly some of these should be short sales where my team can help them. Various reasons, but I do know that most listings expire on the last day of the month or the first day of the next month. And then as we get towards school starting, then it accelerates. So today and tomorrow, in the next few days, we should have anywhere from 300 to 500 homes that are expired, that did not sell. Now, the problem is with school starting in 3 weeks, there's no way, unless somebody's paying cash, and those are a very small amount of people that buy homes, there's no way to get it closed before the start of school. And so we've lost that deadline, and so it becomes harder and harder for the homes to sell in the next 30 days or so because of that particular reason. Things do pick up after that. Now, one positive thing is that inventory levels are going down, of course, but also buyers are going down. And I look at these listings, and let me just give you a few things that I observe. And the first two things are probably obvious to you, which is price and marketing. Now, price is the big one. If realtors cannot price a home properly, if they cannot get a seller to agree on the proper price, folks, it's not going to sell. You know, you may think you have the greatest house on the block, the greatest house on the planet, but if it's $50,000 over everybody else, it's not going to sell. Now, if something's on the market for 6 months, which I saw today, which is fairly typical, and it hadn't sold, then, you know, price is wrong. It's very simple. Now, there can be other parts of that price that are wrong, which is the location. For instance, you may be 25, 30 miles outside of town. Gas prices are up. People don't want to pay to drive that far. You have high power lines, or you back up to a busy street. All those things can play into the price because you got to price it according to those conditions of property, including, is the house really neat looking inside? I mean, does it need a lot of work, a lot of deferred maintenance? All this plays into price, and so that is very, very important. That's the number one reason I'm seeing houses not selling. Now, the second reason is marketing. For instance, if your house is listed for 6 months and there hasn't been a price reduction, well, somebody's crazy. And I'm just telling you that straight out. Somebody's crazy. If it's not selling for that price on the first day, in the first week, in the first month, why do you think it's going to happen 6 months later when the listing is shop worn and when people are going, oh my God, it's been on 6 months, I haven't had a price reduction? Those people don't want to sell. Now, that is the reason. Maybe the realtor's fault, maybe the seller's fault, maybe they're just really not that serious about selling. The other thing that I see about why some of these houses haven't had a price reduction is because they owe too much money on the house. And in fact, what's curious to me is that I look at these listings, I'm going, oh my gosh, I can know how to do a net sheet. I know an FHA buyer typically asks for $4,000 or $5,000 worth of closing costs. I know the typical selling costs are at least 10%, sometimes 12% off the gross price. Those people are having to bring $10,000 to $15,000 and sell their house at $150,000, and they owe $142,000. The numbers just don't add up, folks. Those people are not necessarily the folks that can bring that much money to closing in order to sell their home. So I'm wondering if, you know something, if a short sale wouldn't be just a little bit better in that situation. Now, the other reason can be very much poor marketing. I saw a listing today. It had no pictures. It had no description. It had no direction. Nothing in there whatsoever. And so as a realtor that is with busy clients, and I'm a busy realtor, and you don't have anything in there whatsoever, it's probably a pretty good chance I'm not going to show it. And then also, our listings in the MLS system auto-populate places like Realtor.com, among other places, Trulia, Zillow. And if there's no description, no directions, no picture, no information whatsoever, I don't know room size, I don't know if it has a refrigerator, washer, dryer, dishwasher, whatever, ceiling fan, you name it, then as a buyer who's looking on those sites, you're going to pass it by too. So marketing can have a play in why the house doesn't sell. And if you combine that with being overpriced, you really do have problems. Now, my big question at this point on July 31st is, will these houses be relisted? Will people still make an attempt to do it? Now, in most cases, they don't, which leads us to the next question. Are they going to be able to make the payments? I see people that pay too much for homes and finance too much, 100% with VA or close to 100% with FHA. And I say, they didn't have a whole lot of money to start with. They're trying to sell their house for a reason. It's overpriced. It's based on what's owed on the property, not what the market is saying. Can these people keep making their payments? And that's what we're really curious about in the next 90 and 120 days. We are seeing 60 to 90-day lates increase overall in the Oklahoma City area. You got 6.38 million people in the United States, homeowners, that were late on their payments in the month of April, for instance. And so you got a lot of people that are not being able to make payments, and are they going to make them up? So, if you're trying to sell a home, remember this: if it hadn't sold for 6 months, there's a reason for it. It's price, it's combined with condition of property, location. It can be also marketing can complicate, or bad marketing can complicate the same thing. But if you're someone that is going, I can't bring that money to closing, talk to us about a short sale, because that is a way that you can have that money written off your mortgage, not bring in the money in closing, and sell the house that you need to relocate or to go into something that's less expensive so that your family can eat and do other things that are very important to you. So at this point, don't relist your property. Stay in the property you can afford to do it. If not, figure out what your other alternatives are. We'll be happy to advise you about short sales, about loan modifications, about every possible way that you can stay in that house or sell it without costing you money that you don't have. This is Joe Pryor with the virtualrealestateteam.com in Oklahoma City, where we deliver traditional real estate values with the speed of technology.